It's time for Higgs Lore. Journal 1. Today I made a delivery to a shelter near Middle Knot City. It was my longest trip to date, a new personal best. Back when I was starting out, people tried to warn me off the life, saying it was dangerous for prepper young'uns to make runs and that no one would really ever trust me. But what was I supposed to do? Kids without parents need to eat too, and it's not like I had any skills. 2 arms, 2 legs, whole lot of grit, that's all I had to offer. Worked out okay so far. I bring people what they need, and in return, they do right by me. The more deliveries I make, the more orders I get. Never a porter around when you need one, so as long as you don't fuck up too badly, someone ought to throw you a bone. Helps that I've got a 6th sense for BTs too. Pretty rare that. It's probably one of the reasons why I get so much work. Sometimes people praise me, tell me I'm doing society a service by helping my fellow man. Can't say that factors into it. I'd sooner keep to myself if I could, but I've got to survive somehow, and I sure as hell ain't gonna manage by myself. Journal 2. Another prepper's kicked the bucket. I went to deliver his medicine as usual this morning, but I guess I was pretty damn late. Poor guy wasn't just dead, but on the verge of going necro. Wasn't no time to take him to an incinerator, so I had to dump him in nearby BT territory. Better than leaving him to pop, especially since my own shelter is close by. Gotta look out for number 1. When I dumped him though, just before he popped, it was like I could feel the BTs reacting to the corpse. Saw the beach too, strangest thing, but I'd felt it before, when I first disposed of someone. The sensation was stronger this time though, no doubt about it. Don't know if this means I've got dooms, but I'm starting to think there's something special about me. Journal 3. A delivery outfit out west heard of my BT sensing abilities and has expressed an interest in bringing me on board. Seems they operate outside of Bridges' sphere of influence and they want to leverage my experience and know how to expand their operation. Could be interesting. It's funny, I started making runs out of necessity to stay alive, but that's all changed. I'm an altruist now. I live to help other people. Preppers around these parts rely on me. Hell, they wouldn't last 5 minutes without me. What would my daddy say if he could see me now, He taught me man's his own keeper, but here I am, part of a community, working with other people, bringing the world together. Daddy always told me that the wide, wide world was dangerous, that we had to stay in our shelter, spend our whole life there, die there. Well, fuck that. Community is what it's all about. Journal 4. Buddy of mine died today. He was out in the mountains on a delivery, and it was so goddamn foggy. I guess he lost sight of the trail. He called me asking for help, but then the line went dead. I saw the void out from here, nearly blinded me. Guess he wandered into BT territory. There's not many of us porters left these days. Not many you could trust to get the job done anyway. Folks quitting or dying, going mule. Attrition's a bitch. If we're to keep on, we're gonna need better equipment and someone else who can track BTs. I can still manage sometimes, but my power's getting weaker. I can feel it. Just wish I knew what to do, because at this rate, I'm fucked. We all are. Journal 5. Ha and ka, body and soul. The two become separated. You die, in this world at least. The death ain't the end though. So long as your soul's got a body to come back to, you can be reborn. Resuscitated anyway. That's why people built coffins and sarcophagi to preserve the body so the soul had a home it could return to. I learned all this and more from an old book I found, The Wisdom of Egyptians, chock full of interesting tidbits about death and how to overcome it, like the golden death mask of the pharaohs, the ones decorated using magical adornments as an indication of the wearer's prestige and power. I tell you what, if we've learned anything from the beach, it's that the Egyptians had it all figured out. That's why I've decided to give myself a mask. Not a death mask though, but one for living, for ruling. Today's the last day anyone sees my face. I don't need it anymore. Journal 6. A Bridges Way station out west just got taken out by terrorists. Used a void out to do it. They dumped a corpse nearby and let it go necro, dropping BTs right in people's laps. Word is demons heard that Bridges was sending an expeditionary force out west to facilitate the reconstruction of America or some such. Guess they didn't take kindly to that. Terrorists, separatists, isolationists, all these folks claim America is coming for their freedom. The old guard wants to put them in change, make the individual subservient to the collective. They ask, what's it all for in a post-stranding world when today's triumph is tomorrow's crater? Daddy used to sprout the same tired line, said America never did nothing for nobody. That's why we took to living in a shelter. Better down in the hole than out there under their thumb. Yeah, he was a real saint, my daddy. Tried to run a few times, but he'd just drag me back inside, kicking and screaming, where he'd put those heavy hands of his to work and remind me what had happened if I disrespected his authority. But that's love, isn't it? His way of looking after an orphan child he raised as his own. He was only trying to protect me from the evils of the outside world. I owe him my life, and my powers too. First time I ever sensed a BT was when I held him moments before he went necro. Just like when I dumped the prepper's body, my daddy showed me that corpses are precious, powerful things. They're so much more than bombs. Terrorists ought to treat them with proper respect. Journal 7. I've had us team up with a bunch of porters who service the central part of the country. Had to be done. The writing was on the wall for my crew otherwise, and guess what? Their leaders got dooms. I've got a feeling we're going to be good friends. Demons and terrorists have been getting more aggressive ever since the Bridges expedition team set out. As if BTs and mules weren't enough, now we've got to keep our eyes peeled for those assholes when we're making runs. All the more reason we've got to come together, get organized. Me and my new partner, we've been talking about consolidating our operations so we can cover the whole continent. If we do, I suppose that'd make us like the UCA in some respects. Different structure and methods, but similar ideology. A deep and abiding belief in the importance of community. But the devil's in the details, isn't it? Rules, structures. Can't just let people make decisions for themselves, and therein lies the risk. Can't have us repeating the sins of the past with another USA. And demons, well, they ain't about to think for themselves. At the end of the day, a community needs a strong leader, and the God's honest truth is that I'm the only one cut out for it. Journal 8. The rumors I heard about my new partner's powers don't do her justice. I knew she had dooms, but she's on a whole other level. I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. Not only can she perceive BTs, but she can actually use the beach. Compared to hers, my powers are nothing, parlor tricks courtesy of a few corpses, but it doesn't matter. Not so long as I've got her. Before we met, I was bound by the limitations of my abilities. I was a blind man groping for shadows of a secret realm. But now, because of her, I can actually go to the beach. The beach! With her by my side, I can reshape this world. Not into what it was with the old USA. Not like what Bridges wants. Something new. Something everlasting. Right here and now. A world where we are free to do whatever we goddamn please. Journal 9. My partner's powers are extraordinary, sure, but deep down I know the two of us alone don't have what it takes to bring true, lasting freedom to the people. Everything we've done, that we continue to do, no matter how much it may seem to bring people together, it's still a far cry from the way it should be. Timefall, BTs, chiral clouds, all this and more serves to cut us off from the rest of creation. And I have to say, I don't think that's ever going to change. Even people like me and my partner, we have our limits. But now I've met someone who has none. Someone who could save the world from this madness, make it whole again, put our shattered pieces back together. Journal 10. Samantha America Strand, Amelie. The moment I met her, I knew she was destined to make us whole again. She told me we'd do it together and even gave me a gift, a bridge baby. It's a BT sensor of sorts, although it looks like a newborn, but it's not. Amelie says it was born on the beach and that it serves as a link between our world and the other side. Between me and her, too, if I keep it with me at all times. She called it a new child for a new era. I'm not just a delivery guy anymore. I'm a herald for her and her new world. She's given me everything I ever wanted, ever needed, and now I'm free to cut fragile loose. Journal 11. Phoebe reminds me of a baby doll, but it's no toy, that's for sure. Neither dead nor alive. Half human, half something else. An inhabitant of the in-between like a mummy, a lump of flesh wrapped around a shriveled yet still beating heart. So many symbols to choose from, all signifying that humanity's reached the end of the road. The stranding was big number 6, I see that now, and so much more. The void outs, the bodies birthing BTs, all aspects of a single phenomenon that exists solely to wipe us off the face of the earth. We can't stop what's coming, it's inevitable. Putting Humpty Dumpty back together won't change a goddamn thing. And risking life and limb to try is a fool's errand. Why sacrifice what little you've got in the here and now for a future that'll never come? It's wasteful and meaningless. Amelie degree for sure. Journal 12. I met Amelie on the beach again and pressed her for more answers about the stranding, but she wouldn't give me anything. Maybe she's got nothing left to give. Maybe she's waiting till the time's right. I don't know. I don't care. We all know there's no escaping extinction. I'm struggling to see her angle. Why even pretend to rebuild? Why rail against the inevitable? If there's another layer to this, I can't work it out, and I'm getting sick and tired of trying. If she's not going to let me in on her plans, I'm going to have to assume the worst and take matters into my own hands. Give humanity the coup de grace myself. Just need the power to do it. Journal 13. Dear Diary, today I nuked Middle Knot City, wiped it clean off the map. Didn't carry the bomb myself, of course. Fragile did the honors. Delivered my mercy to the people like a good little porter. I'm sure she's surprised, but she shouldn't be. Death and destruction are part and parcel of the human condition, and bringing people together only exacerbates that. Be careful what you wish for, eh? It's like when our ancestors came from the old world to the new and brought their old world diseases with them. Natives had no immunity, and over half died in the blink of an eye. Bam. And we've only come up with better, more effective ways of killing ever since. The network's just another means of hastening the end. This was always logical conclusion of our efforts, mine and Fragile's. Maybe that's why I partnered up with her, because in my heart of hearts, I knew it was building to this. Journal 14. Sam Porter, where to begin? Dooms? Repatriate? Lone wolf? Amelie's adopted brother? Motherfucker? Impression I get is that he's a loner who found meaning in being a good Samaritan. Yeah, I tried that mask on for size once upon a time. Sweet little Amelie, though. She buys into his act. Thinks he's got what it takes to help her make America whole again. I tell you what, the more I look into it, the more it seems like he might actually be a true believer. Fucking hell. Anyways, he's a dead man walking, even with Amelie's help. He'll be in Central before too long, and the second he shows, I'm bringing a shit ton of BTs down on his head and turning that place into a crater. Then it's bye-bye Sammy Porter, bye-bye Bridges HQ, bye-bye Expedition Team. Journal 15. Sam's still alive, not even a void out's enough to keep a repatriate down. Sticks in my craw. Second expedition got wiped out, obviously, but Sam seems happy to head west, all by himself. Stupid fuck's crazier than me, or maybe just desperate. Still can't figure why rebuilding the nation's so important to him. Well, whatever, he wants to keep at it, he can be my guest. Even if he had the others backing him up, it wouldn't make a difference. Ending's already been written. I've worked it out exactly how it's gonna go down, but dooms alone isn't enough. I need greater power to finish the job, to rain down fire and brimstone on these modern-day Sodoms and Gomorrahs. Journal 16. I've discovered the truth about the Death Stranding. Amelie's powers have nothing to do with dooms. She's destruction incarnate, the angel of the Death Stranding, the extinction entity. I understand now what my true role is, the bridge that will deliver her judgment to this world, the executor of the end. No one knows, not even Sam, but they will. Journal 17. Sam's arrived in Port Knot City with Fragile to boot. Think I'll meet them there and bring a BT or two along for the ride. It's past time I showed Bridges how powerful I've become. Come one, come all. We'll have ourselves an annihilation party, and when it's over, there'll be no one left to come between me and Amelie and the end of the world. Journal 18. Goddamn, is Sammy boy stubborn. Just ain't the quittin' type. Seems it's rubbing off on Amelie, too. Girl's trying to fight her true nature. Flip the script. For all the good it'll do her. What difference does it make if it ends tomorrow or a million years from now? The planet's 4.6 billion years old, and the universe, God only knows. Humanity's entire history is a blip on that timescale. What's the fucking point of fighting for a fraction longer? Anyways, Sam and Fragile made it to Lake Knot City, which is just as well. I reckon my old partner's due for a stroll down memory lane, a saunter through the crater she carved out with that nuke of mine. Come to think of it, maybe Sam ought to walk it with her. Yeah, I think I'll have him make a special delivery for me. Journal 19. Well, shit. Sam and Fragile managed to dispose of my nuke before it went off. They weren't smart enough to see through my disguise, but something must have tipped them off. Probably what I wrote on the tag. I know I should have resisted the temptation, but come on, who the hell reads that shit these days? And now he's halfway to the coast. But he's in my neck of the woods now, and my boys ain't about to let up. We're gonna make him regret ever fucking with me and mine. Journal 20. The fuck was that storm that sucked up Sam? A supercell or whatever? I hooked up my BB just before I arrived and it started shaking and blinking and it's all gone sideways. And there's something else out there. Something all kinds of fucked up. Don't need BB to tell me that. Journal 21. I've got Amelie. Fucking finally. She's trapped in Edge Knot City. A horde of BTs all around. She's not going anywhere now. No, I'm gonna go take good care of my sweet little angel of death, my extinction entity. We've got plans, me and her. As for you, Sammy boy, you're gonna learn what it means to really suffer. Journal 22. Welcome to the edge, Sam. You're a real asshole, but I've got to admit, you've got grit. You remind me of me in that regard, and because we share a connection to Amelie. She gave you your dream catcher, me and my Kipu. But you've never seen her face, have you? Never looked in the eye and seen her for what she truly is. Time to wake up and smell the ashes, Sammy boy. Time for me to tell everyone, the truth that hides at the heart of the stranding. You're gonna love it. I go grab some shut-eye at a distro center or whatever if I were you. We've got a showdown coming, and you're gonna wanna be fighting fit. Just don't keep me waiting too long, you hear? Journal 23. You're all alone now. You've lost everything. Your mask, her Kipu, the BB doll, gone. You thought you had the power, that you were the one fated to lead them unto extinction. Yet, here you are, alone. You thought you were in control, that this was your role, your dream, the verge of victory, of oblivion for one and all. Herald, executor, pawn, god particle? Ha. A stupid name for a stupid goddamn fool. This was your life, Higgs, your tale, told by an idiot, full of sound and righteous fury, signifying nothing. Journal 24. My first memory is of looking up at the ceiling of our shelter as a baby bawling my eyes out. All of a sudden, the hand of God comes into view, blotting out of the steel sky. Daddy lifts me up, not gentle, but not hard. Shouts some stuff, but it's all gibberish I can't make heads or tails of. He ain't my real daddy, though. That one died before I was born, and Mama soon after. Of disease or something, I don't know. Her brother took me in, whisked me away from that shelter, reeking of piss and death, and brought me here. Daddy number 2. He never really took to it. He was an ugly, violent man, full of anger, with nowhere to go. Tried to love me in his own way, but I don't know if he ever had it in him. Daddy told me our shelter was our world, and I believed him. I grew up thinking no one but us two existed. Then, when I got a little older, I started asking questions. Simple questions about where the food came from, that kind of thing. Got smacked upside the head for my troubles. But try as he might, he couldn't beat the curiosity out of me. One day I peeked at his monitor. It was the first glimpse I'd ever caught of the outside world. I pestered Daddy about it, and you bet I caught holy hell for it. But I wore him down, and eventually he came clean and admitted there was a whole world out there soaked to the bone by timefall and overrun by demons that'd eat me up. It occurred to me later that his fear-mongering probably got my mama killed, filling her head with hysterics about the dead walking the earth and the only safe haven being 6 feet under. Journal 25. My mama entrusted me to her brother, so he had no choice but to raise me best he could. Say what you will about the man, but he had himself a sense of obligation. He might even have harbored a measure of affection for me, but whatever was in his heart he expressed with his hands, his fists. Any hopes and dreams he might have had for me, for us, fell by the wayside pretty quick. We slipped into a daily routine of warnings to stay the fuck inside, bookended by beatings to drive the point home. I think sometimes he sincerely believed that was the only way to protect me, but I wasn't about to go on living like that. Can't cage a young boy's spirit. If I stayed, I'd have died, body and soul. I had to get out. Started hoarding supplies in secret, but he caught on. That was the beginning of the worst beating yet. He was grabbing anything and everything within reach that could be used as a weapon, tearing our shelter apart, smashing furniture, all the while wailing like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. He pinned me down, tears and spit flying in my face as he blubbered on about me not understanding his pain. His fucking pain. His hands around my neck, darkness creeping from the corners. His fucking pain. His fucking pain. The kitchen knife in my hands, in his neck, his hands, his fucking hands, they grow weak, and he just deflates. Like a balloon, all over me. I roll him off, and I look into his glassy eyes filled with fucking pain and our steel sky. Journal 26. I didn't know how to feel after. I spent the night next to him, my mind a blank canvas. In the back of it, a nagging voice saying that I had to dispose of it. Daddy hadn't told me as much, but he had told me about how bodies go necro, pop BTs and all that. Made for a good bedtime story. So I knew what would happen if I let him lie. Death had come into our home and turned it into a crater. His stink was starting to fill up the room. I had to deal with him, had to get him out, get him as far away as possible. So I got my arms under his and dragged him out into a new world with a new sky. Bigger, emptier, bare rock dotted with bushes all around. Mountains, fucking mountains, off in the distance, Cairo clouds hugging their peaks. My knees starting to get wobbly, and the world began to spin, but I knew the clock was ticking. Eyes down, gotta deal with Daddy. I'd been moving at a steady clip when I saw it. Chiralium coming off Daddy, little motes of shimmering light. I was out of time. I laid him down in the dirt, but before I let go, I had a vision. My hands, still resting on his body, disappeared, vaporized into fine mist. Poof. And then I felt another presence, a BT, coming, slowly but sure, like it'd been walking since the beginning of time, Daddy's keeper. That was the first one I sensed, but it wasn't the last. For a long while after, I remained awakened to their presence, a sixth sense, Daddy's parting gift to me. Over time, it'd fade. But I knew how I got it, and I knew how to get it back. All I needed was another body, and I got real good at making them. Death for life, theirs for mine, a fair exchange. So the following notes are from the director's cut, and these are about Coffin, which was Fragile's mother. The head of the outfit who recognized my talents and sought me out was a woman who called herself Coffin. The things she told me, hoo boy, I heard that Bridges wanted to rebuild America, which is all well and good, but made no difference to me. I was content to stick with my smaller circle of associates, mind my own business, stay alive. But Coffin, she spun a different yarn, said that Bridges was out to fuck the world up and then some. That their plan for rebuilding America involved honest-to-God human sacrifice of unborn children at that. These so-called BBs were being carted to some factory by the boatload to be slaughtered. She and her friends had even done some of the carting themselves, unwittingly. The guilt was eating her alive. So Bridges are using children for their own ends. Them and Daddy'd get along swell. Not Coffin, though. Seems she and her crew are behind the spate of recent terrorism. Not that she considers it to be terrorism, of course, me neither. If Bridges is doing what she claims, then someone's got to make them pay, am I right? Ain't no value in false connection, especially if it comes at a steep cost like that. Some things a man can't abide, so I'll stand with Coffin and follow her lead, even if it's got to be in secret. Coffin gave me a mission. We said our goodbyes, went our separate ways. She took a team and raided the BB factory. Their strategy was solid, and it should have gone like clockwork. Save the kids, shut down the operation, everyone goes home feeling good. And then Bridges went and blew the whole damn facility to kingdom come. Wiped out everything and everyone in an instant. Of course, that wasn't the story they fed the public. Instead, they announced that despite terrible destruction and loss of life, they'd finally managed to eliminate the terrorist threat. Or some such bullshit. Little do they know that Coffin survived. Guess whatever tunnels they built underground held up better than anticipated. No idea who else is down there or how they're holding up. Haven't heard from her in a while. Best to keep my distance and let Bridges think she's dead. I've got my own mission, after all. Gotta head west, play the good porter a little while longer. Only way to save the BBs and put a stop to Bridges, and do right by Coffin and her daughter, should we ever cross paths. Wonder if we'll ever meet again. In a dream, maybe. This note is actually from Coffin herself, talking about Higgs, aka Peter. The freelancer's name was Peter Englert. His father died when he was young, leaving Peter to fend for himself. There was such a fear in him, but beneath that a terrible anger. At the world and everyone in it. At the time, I believed it was a manifestation of a passion to build something better. I convinced myself, or tried to. I told Peter what Bridges was doing and asked him to help me put an end to it. The plan was simple. I'd hit the BB production facility with my group, and he'd take his people west to establish a base of operations for our resistance, maintain cover as a porter, but keep his eyes peeled for potential recruits. I haven't heard anything from my husband in a while, and I'm beginning to fear the worst. Did Bridges get to him? What about my daughter? Is she safe? I wish I had more time. I haven't told anyone yet, but I'm not well. Too many miles on this body. I can feel it breaking down. So little time to stop Bridges, to make it right. The cause will outlive me. It must. I made Peter promise to keep the flame burning, even after my husband and I are gone. I made him promise to look after our daughter, too. She's strong in her own way, but still too fragile for this world, I fear. I pray she doesn't break. I pray a brighter future awaits her, and Peter too, that poor boy. So obviously this is a lot to unpack, and hopefully we'll get more backstory in Death Stranding 2. But Higgs's character arc is kind of all over the place. I mean, he starts out an abused boy and has to kill his father to survive, basically. Then he's on his own. Then he's out in the world and he's keeping to himself and only concerned with himself, delivering packages, and then it kind of transforms him in his way of thinking to where he's like, these people aren't that bad. And he starts to feel more camaraderie towards the people around him. And he gets involved with Coffin in trying to save BBs, because fuck Bridges for doing the BB shit. That's terrible. And when that goes south, he eventually does meet up with Fragile and is happy with how things are going with her for a period. But then he meets Amelie and is seduced by, at the very least, her offering of power. But that's where I kind of get confused, to be honest, because I still can't wrap my mind around Amelie double dipping and wanting to save the world and wanting to destroy the world. Like, obviously, I know her wanting to destroy the world is her purpose. That's why she's there. She's the extinction entity. But there's so many different paths that have crossed in order to come to the end that we've come to. And I wonder for Higgs how much... Here's the thing with Higgs. Either he used Amelie for her powers, or she used him for a narrative to either bring about the end of the world or bring about Sam saving the world. And I think Higgs was undoubtedly unaware of the full extent of things. And that makes sense, because how could he be full aware of things that haven't happened yet if she's seeing various futures? I don't know. I'm interested to see the continued character progression, story progression of Higgs and where everything goes from here. He's like, he could have been a good dude. He could have been. But now it's possible he's too far gone to be redeemed.